Welcome to online teaching. We are discussing chapter 9th, the Industrial Revolution. This is module 5th. In 4th, we discuss about the canals and the railways. Here we will discuss about women, children and industrialization. As you know that industrialization started in England in 1850s up to and after that it moved to other parts of the Europe, and even the invention of railways, the making of the canals, that was also started. Now what happened after industrialization? The people migrated to cities and rich people took the risk of setting up industries. Now what was their objective? They wanted to set up some of the industries, and it was a risky one also during that time period, and they also wanted to have maximum profit for that. They wanted to set up, and due to these factors the people started to migrate. As you know, where industrialization is there is availability of laborers also. The people started to migrate to cities, and due to this there was increase in the population of the cities, as well as urbanization also developed. You may say earlier two cities in 1750s and nearly 50 cities in 1850s. It means there was an increase in number of the cities, maximum cities that also developed. And what happened? The rich people, they were living in the good colonies, good area, good locality, where everything was available. And the laborer, or you may say these workers, they were living in the slummy areas, congested area, where facilities were least. There were different types of the problem. Even the air also started to pollute, because industrialization was speedily growing up and there were a lot of changes. Now this industrialization make some of the people rich, and even some of the people were able to feed themselves, but there were negative aspects also. Now next thing that we will be discussing after that, there was decrease in life expectancy of the workers. In 1842 a survey was done, and the age of the workers was 15 in Manchester, 18 in Lancashire, and 21 in London or different parts. Now you can see these were because these people were working, these were small children. They started to work from very small ages, that is 5, 6, 8, 10. These types of the ages were there, and these people, and they were not able to live up to 20-25 years. But it was in the cities. it was in cities as compared to rural areas. In rural areas, somehow it was good, because in that there was no such of the pressure, or you may say such type of the problem was not there, because there was exploitation. And even some of the epidemics, you may say, like tuberculosis, TB, you may say, cholera, and even asthma. These types of the epidemics were there, and due to these epidemics, the people were dying. They were not able to complete their age, and these were some of the problems, and nearly thousands of the people. The population was increasing, but not of the children, that were of the workers. So you may say the increase in the population was only from migration, and the children, they were dying. The condition of children as well as women was horrible. Even we can't imagine such types of the problem that were in England during the industrialization. Okay. Now, another thing was there in rural areas. Children were working in farms or fields. Okay. The women were rearing animals, work in fields, and some other work. It means these women, because the resources were also limited and the income was also limited, and due to this they were working into their locality, into the fields only. Whatever they got, they were surviving. And in cities, situation was worse, which means the women and children had to work for survival, because the salary of the meal, that was very less, and sometimes they got work and sometimes they did not get the work. Such types of the thing were there. And what happened in maximum of the industries, the children and women were the laborers. Maximum were these, because what they were getting least wages, and they will also not protest, they will not agitate, and in whatever the circumstances, in whatever the locality they will be told to work, they will work. So it means even the owners of the industries, they give preference to women and children. It was highly risk, and you may say 6 to 10 years children were working in industries. The women were working in cotton textile industry, lace making industry, and other industries, and for that they were getting least wages. And after the invention of some machines like flying shuttle, spinning zeni, mule Crofton railway, and even steam engine, the workers were forced to leave jobs by the arrival of machines. It means these people, they were forced to leave the work, and for that the women and children were maximum involved in this work. It was highly risk, and even major accidents were there. The women and children, they were dying, so because they have to work for a number of hours, 14, 16 and 12. These were the, you may say, minimum working hours, and due to exhaustion or due to this, you may say, illness, children and women were dying. Sometimes in machines, women and children were captured and they died. It means these types of the situation were there. And even in mines, coal mines were there, and in coal mines it was prohibited for the small children, but even then they were forced, because deep inside the adult can't go. So the children inside the machines, the children were forced to move, and due to this there were the risk, and this was the reason that maximum children, they were dying. And in mines, even some of the blast, even carving of the roofs, means the roof may fall down at a time. It means these types of the problem that were faced by the women and children, and these were the horrible situation. Industrialization was good, but these were the impacts that the population and the coming generation, they were suffering. The children 5 to 10, 8 and 12, these types of the, you may say, were there. 50% were, 50% children were less than 10 years, and 28% children were less than 14 years. It means these types of the things were there. Now you can see how the future can survive. So it means, because if they will not work, they will starve, they will die due to hunger, because very less wages were there. And to make the condition normal, the women and children had to work.